mystery behind that car. There was a stage when it started, a lie, a simple lie. I fought the lie won. 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 Between you and I stumbled upon the night gone, or something about the way your face, it looks so much paler than before. It's different to say I'm happy now. It's easy to stay behind. It's different to say I'm happy now. 'Cause I fought the lie won. 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 I was being so selfish. Now I know I was being so selfish. Now he's gone. There is another side of him that thanks me for my absence. Now I sit all alone in my own deserved silence. Red moon, your eyes are so clearly guilty, so clearly guilty. And when I look at you, I've never felt as cold as I do right here, right now, tonight. But where were you before? Where were you before? Where were you before? Where were you before? Where were you before when that red moon was up on that cold, cold night? Oh, oh. Red moon, red moon. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Good. Me too. I'm doing good. Are you doing good, Brock?
Me 3.
Great. Everybody's doing good. Wow, I'm really excited to be here. This is a really cool atmosphere, really cool experience to be a part of. So thank you so much for having us. My name is Genevieve Jaide, and I'm joined tonight by my good pal and longtime bandmate, Brock Patch. Yeah, this is a really cool concept, starting from kind of the beginning and then going to the present. It's special to me to have Brock here with me tonight because we've been playing together for a very long time, and he's kind of been there since almost day one with my songwriting journey. So it's really cool to have him up here tonight with me in this particular moment in time. So that first song that we played, it's called Red Moon. And it's the first song that I ever wrote back when I was about 18 years old. And I saw this ginormous, quite literal, big red moon in the sky the summer before I was moving away from my hometown here, Prince George, for the first time. And that image kind of stuck in my mind because I'd never seen a moon so big. But so that kind of started the song for me. And songwriting's always been kind of like a subconscious thing for me. I've never really sat down and forced myself to write a song. It's always been more of kind of like a way of coping, a form of therapy for myself. It more seemed like I needed to write the songs rather than like I wanted to write the songs. They kind of just flowed out of me subconsciously, and it was like that for a lot in my earlier days when I wasn't really trying so much. And I think that's a really beautiful thing that you see in young songwriters, and when I look back at some of the first songs I ever wrote, I admire that young person who was so fearless and wasn't afraid of any judgment at all and just was honest with her lyrics. And you see that with a lot of young songwriters. So I'm trying myself now, over a decade later, to get back to that point of being fearless and not caring so much about what people think. So that song, oh, thank you. So that song's, it's really important to me. The next song that we're gonna play is off of our most recent release. It's called Fourth Cup of Coffee, and I wrote it exactly that on probably my fourth cup of coffee of the day. So lots of different ideas and flowing moments moving through in the song lyrics. And that song, actually, I had a bunch of like different scrap pieces of paper where I wrote down a bunch of different feelings, thoughts, ideas, lyrics that kind of just came to me, little one-liners. And one day I sat down with a lot of coffee and I grabbed all those little bits of pieces of paper, and I wrote this song about it. And it kind of circles around the idea of moving to the title track of our album. It's called I'm Not Who You Think I Am, and that song really encapsulates that feeling of being scared of being judged and trying to be confident and moving past those boxes that people tend to put you in. This song's a little bit about that. It's called Fourth Cup of Coffee.
Start at the end. Giving up you was more like playing pretend. You said goodbye. I'm not a rubber, I won't bend. Fourth cup of coffee today, and I'm writing the same thing on every page. Couldn't find a clever way to say this. Been listening to Joni and St. Marie, feeling so angry it wasn't me who shook the scene in the 1970s. I'm existing in this modern scary world. Every day I awake, wonder why I'm still here. Couldn't find a clever way to say this. I'm not who you think I am. No, no. I'm not who you think I am. No. what you will, but your God is not for me. Never was, never could be. Fourth cup of coffee today, and I'm writing the same thing on every page. Couldn't find a clever way to say this. I'm not who you think I am. No, no, I'm not who you think I am. No, I'm not who you think I am.
Thank you so much. Okay. This next song is also a part of our most recent release. And I picked this song to play for you today because I find a lot of my songs, unintentionally, they're quite personal. And I think it's because the way that I have always used music, like I was saying before, is kind of a form of therapy for me. So they unintentionally, subconsciously, are very personal to me, and they're tricky to talk about. But this one in particular, I had in mind just this idea of making a song that didn't really mean much of anything. I tried my best just to keep it pretty chill, keep it pretty simple, and I had this little idea of a little motif, which basically means it's a repetitive idea that you hear in a song, and it really hopefully grabs the listener's attention, and had this little simple ditty, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, in my mind, and I brought that to my band, and I was like, hey, let's incorporate this into this song, and Brock's gonna be playing it on guitar, a little riff for that. And that was kind of where I started off with this song, actually. It was just that little ditty, and then I started thinking about how we put such a huge focus on big moments in our life, whether it's like from the past, from the present, or big moments that are going to happen. We're thinking about them. And I don't think we spend enough time on like those little beautiful moments that are in between those big moments. So this song was kind of my intention to just take a little bit more time to think about those little memories that happen in between the big ones. And just as an example, for the first verse of the song, I talk about finding a dime in the middle of the road. And that concept, for me, came from my mom when I was little, and, well, still to this day. Whenever she finds a dime anywhere, she'll pick it up and put it in her pocket. And she told me that means that someone's looking out for you. And that always really stuck with me. Even today, whenever I see a dime, I think of my mom. And that's just one of those like little moments in time that I've never forgotten. So I wanted to encapsulate that in this song. This song is called Time in Between.
You're the dime in the middle of the road I find when I'm walking home alone. No one shines like you do. You're so far from the truth. The time in between the memories is further and further in between. When every time that you make a move, you're killing something beneath your shoe. No one hurts like you do. You're so far removed. The time in between the memories chest falls heavy, and I believe no one sounds like you do. You're so far from the truth. The time in between the memories is further and further in between. The time in between is further and further in between.
Thank you. I forgot to introduce my guitar, which I do name. This guitar right here, yeah, this is actually, it's not my first guitar, but it's the guitar I started writing songs on. I've had this guitar since Red Moon was written, and yeah, it's my baby. I found it at Sound Factory here in Prince George, and I visited it for, I don't know, probably 6 months until I made the plunge and got it. And it's, yeah, it's been an incredible tool for me. And yeah, my baby. It's named Edgar Flo, which, yeah, named after Edgar Allan Poe, of course, because I was a angsty, moody little teenager, and Florence and the Machine, because she's like a walking fairy on this planet. Something I aspire to be. Yeah, this next song that we're gonna play for you is one that I didn't really plan on ever playing for anyone. I wrote it when I was a part of this songwriting workshop through Tiny Let's Ignite. And the whole premise for the songwriting course was to kind of take us out of our comfort zones and write in a style that we normally wouldn't write. And of course, that means something different to everyone. But for me, it was simply just actively sitting down and forcing myself to write a song, because I don't typically work in that way. I really let the songs come to me, and I kind of vomit all of the music out of me. It's a kind of a gross way of saying it, but it's really what happens when I feel a big buildup and I know that a song's coming. I sit down and I put pen to paper and my hands on the guitar or the piano, and it kind of comes out. But with the songwriting workshop, really forced me to sit down and think about what I was writing and intentionally write a song. So it's definitely the most literal song that I've ever written. But I've grown to appreciate it more. I've kind of been sitting on it for a little over a year now, and yeah, especially through this process, I've appreciated looking back, and that's why I wanted to share it with you today. There's a lot of different things happening at the time. It was late 2021 when I was in this songwriting course, and you know, there's some big, heavy things happening in the world, and there still are today. So we were talking about trying songwriting on for a change. So we visited a lot of protest songs and different like climate songs, and that's kind of what inspired this song for me, is just my love for the environment. And I tried to kind of change the perspective a little bit, because typically I'm writing from my own experience, subconsciously, not trying to, but it ends up happening. But with this song, I tried my best to, write from a different perspective, and that was from Mother Earth. So that was kind of the goal with this song. It's called Holding On for Change. This last song of ours is going to be on our next project, which will be released in 2023. The album is going to be called Why Am I Like This? Because the first one was called I'm Not Who You Think I Am. The next one is called Why Am I Like This? It's a joke, kind of, but also true. The song that we're about to play, it's called Somewhere in Between, and it's I picked this song tonight because over my songwriting journey, the first, I would say half of it was very like an independent journey, and I worked a lot by myself on all of my songs, and I had a little bit of a fear of sharing them with other artists and getting their input on them before I would record, because I was just scared. I was a little nervous and insecure, I would say, for sure. But over the last couple of years, especially playing with Brock and our other band Patchwork, it's kind of opened me up a lot, and it's taught me that community and collaboration is so wonderful. It's such a beautiful thing, and that's probably my favorite thing about songwriting today, is just getting to learn a new song and show it to my friends and get their input and take their suggestions and kind of roll with it, fly with it. And this song, we've got a ton of different versions of it, and that's why I wanted to play it today, because it's kind of our biggest collaboration song. The song itself is, again, it's kind of, it's a big idea brought into a few little words. A big idea of, what am I doing with my life? I'm kind of stuck in the middle of doing this, doing that, trying this, trying that, kind of moving through, floating on by. And that's okay sometimes, because I think we'll figure it out eventually, if anyone else feels that way. Thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us during our little songwriting journey. This is Somewhere in Between. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Between fighting therapy and letting everything go. Somewhere in between the old thoughts, the new, don't think I even know that I'm somewhere in between him and her and you and me. What's the point in letting you know that I'm somewhere in between? Yeah, I'm somewhere in between. Forgetting everything, tossing it under the rug. Easier said, instead I hold on. I'm stuck in the in-between. Stuck in the in-between. Glasses on my table, the one I offered you last night, politely agreeing on water. Oh, me and my good hosting, as it sits still mostly full or hardly empty, like all of the things I tried to say but didn't. It seems like I'm taking the easy way out. Yeah, I'm somewhere in between. Instead I hold on. I'm stuck in the in-between. Stuck in the in-between. When you know, will I ever really know? 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 Oh, forgetting everything, tossing it under the rug. Easier said, instead I hold on. Forgetting everything, tossing it under the rug. Easier said, instead I hold on.
Thank you, everyone.